How accurate are the race time predictions from popular running apps? Today, we're putting them to the test. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. I've obviously been dragged into this race time prediction piece together with Hanna, and I have no idea how this is gonna go. So let's go.
So here is the plan. I'm gonna go out and run a 5K and a 10K, which we're gonna be comparing against Garmin, Strava, and Runalyze. We're also gonna be looking at my historical half marathons and marathon times to see how they kind of pair up. For Hanna, we're comparing against Garmin, Strava, and Runna. She needs to go out and do a 5K. We're gonna be comparing her historical 10K times and her historical half marathon times to see how everything checks out. And this will give us a very scientifically proven analysis of how accurate these things are. Now, to make it even more accurate, at the time of running, we don't know what the predictions are. So it's a bit backwards, forwards. You guys are gonna see the predictions first and then see how we fare. In reality, we went out and did the runs and then we saw the predictions. So, ready?
I think so.
Let's go. So let us begin this with a bit of clarification. For the historical half marathon and 10K distances for Hanna, we are not going to be using her obvious best performances. We're going to exclude those and go for the most realistic performance that is very recent that we think we can use as a comparison. Unfortunately, there is nothing she has done in the last couple of months we can use, so we had to stretch the window a slight bit, but we made sure to avoid anything that is not proof of her current running state. For the half marathon, we chose the London Landmarks half marathon, and we chose a recent 10K she did for the 10K time, and we think they are quite representative.
So Hanna's dragged me out to do a 5K PB attempt, which I haven't done in 2 years, and it's hot and it's humid. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. Yeah?
Yep. So the first thing I noticed was that Hanna had set off at quite a high pace, and I was worried when she did so. I chased after her, caught up, and the pace started to drop down, which was good. I was worried because it dropped down quite significantly from her starting position. My estimation was she was running at about a 4:30 pace or even less to begin. As the pace dropped down, I did become a bit concerned she was gassed and had gone out too fast, but she seemed to sustain the pace and wasn't slowing down anymore. This is quite typical for Hanna. She has an amazing engine for endurance. So even though she doesn't hit the higher paces, she can find a rhythm and just keep going and going. You might be asking how I get some of those shots from the side. What I do is I run ahead of Hanna, get a nice position, and then video her coming across. And I try to get as many angles as possible to make the run interesting. So here we are at the 3K mark. Hanna's got to turn around and she's got just under 2K to head back. The pace has dropped up quite significantly, and it is noticeable the difference between her stride now and her stride at the start of the run. At this point, I decided to give you some commentary for myself. I sound even more tired than Hanna, who's doing the running, because it's absolutely boiling. It's about 33 degrees at this point.
Keep the commentary, stay out of her way, and just video, so she can just stay in the zone. I think she'll find more pace when there's a K to go. This is the worst bit. We've done quite a bit, but what remains still feels quite short.
So at this point, we have done over 3.5K and we're heading to the 4K mark, and Hanna just keeps going. She knows she's got a K left to go and she's just putting it through her stride. And here we go. We approach the finish line and she's absolutely knackered. We have a sit down and a debrief.
I started way too fast.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was slowing down, but then it was still like 4:30, which is still way too fast. And like at 2K, I was already paying for it. Like,
yeah.
I think I did the first K 5:03 or something, and then that was it.
So here we have a little breakdown of her time. She's done a 27:38 at a 5:31 pace, which is not too far off the target set. Don't worry that this disappears from your screen. We're going to assess this at the end of the video. Now it's my turn, and I'm going to start with my 5K. We have two historical races for comparison. The Burj to Burj half marathon, which we're using as my half marathon comparison. And we've got the London Marathon, which I did in April for my marathon time. So that leaves me just the 10K and the previously mentioned 5K to do. But these times are representative of where I am right now. So I set off, and it's very hard to talk when doing a 5K. So there will be quite a bit of voiceover when I do this run. I tried to keep my pace and my stride going, and I have to apologize. It was quite humid and the humidity was in the camera. I didn't notice it and I hadn't wiped it down, so you might get a bit of haze in the footage.
Do the bridge.
Here we are at the 3K point. I'm turning round and I've only got 2K to head back. And so far it feels like I'm running at a decent pace.
4K, I'm still going, pushing hard. And it is so hot. It's like I can't even get any air. Just gasping. My lungs don't want to play. Nothing wants to play. Let's feel done.
But luckily I'm at the end. It's a 21:57 with a 4:23 pace, which is pretty good.
I do think that there is more pace, but I also think I have outperformed the prediction.
So I was so wrong there, and here are my times on the screen. Again, like with Hannah, don't worry if you can't read it. We're going to do a full analysis at the end. And now it's time for the 10K.
I need to remember to keep cleaning the lens every time I'm shooting, because it's so humid, it will just steam up so quickly. So about to do the 10.
With this, I intend to go out at an easier pace, so I will try and leave the sound on so you can hear me talking.
So just a quick one is I haven't set lap markers, and the reason being I don't want to know what I'm doing. I just want to run 10K and then see what it flows out to. Past the 1K mark, I'm not looking at my pace. Feels like I'm pushing, but comfortable. If this is a good pace, I think I can hold this for a bit. So I hope it's a good pace and not too slow. Okay, approaching 3K, and then I'm gonna turn around and then head the other way. Halfway distance. I'm struggling. I doubt the time is any good. Just getting past the apartment. Over 6 done. And now I'm in the last third.
For this period, I decided to bring back the voiceovers. I was knackered. I couldn't speak. I just wanted to get to the end. A 10K never felt so long like it did this time. Bear in mind, the pace is nowhere near my PB pace, and it shows how much the heat, the pressure, and the lack of conditioning can impact you at these shorter, faster distances.
Passing the flat again, got a K to go. Approaching the end, got about 100 odd meters left, and I'm knackered.
Hope you guys can hear me. That was a 10K, done at a 4:40 pace. Whew. Felt hard, it's hot, but I felt I was running slower than the pace suggests, so that's good. I do feel I have more in the tank. If it wasn't this hot, I probably could do more.
And it's time for us to get back into the house and do some pace analysis. This is the bit you've all been waiting for. So all right, so now we're done and it's time to check the analysis of what we have done. So I'm gonna go first, right? And I've got it up on screen, so bear with me if I'm looking at it as I go along. So you're gonna be seeing on screen Garmin, and 5K, 10K, the predictions were a lot faster than what I did. I mean, it was only 1.5% on my 5K, about 3% on my 10K that I was slower. When you get to the half marathons, it gets a lot difficult. I think I've got a 145, 146 in me. So a prediction of 142 is quite a lot. My time of 155 is not representative. That's quite slow. So Garmin was out there. And then on the full marathon, you know what I was planning to do. I was planning to do a 4 hours or under 4 hours marathon, which I didn't manage to do. So a prediction of 3:43 is out. So on this one, I've got to say Garmin got the 5K and the 10K pretty good. Not so much the half and the full marathon. If we move to Strava, Strava's saying 21:16 for the 5K. I did a 21:58. If you look at the 10K, 45:37, I did a 46:48. You've seen how hot it was when I was running, etc. 3% out. Strava's nailed this. I think Strava did really well. A 1:45 for a half marathon, I think that's really good. I think my time was very slow. I think a 1:45 is where I should be, everything being nailed, everything being perfect. So even though it's 10% out, my pace versus the prediction, I think Strava is really good here. And look at the full marathon, 4 hours on the dot. That was my ambition on marathon day. It all went wrong. I believe I can do 4 hours or sub 4 hours. So for me, Strava really kind of has nailed it based on where I think I am and what my ambitions are. Now, Runalyze, they use a lot of data. There's a lot of science behind their numbers. It's not just an algorithm. And the 5K, they said I was gonna do a 23. I did a 21:58. I think I can go even faster. So very pessimistic. Same thing on the 10K. 47:58, not as pessimistic, but I'm much faster than the predictions. Now, interesting, you look at the longer distances and it's closer. The half marathon, 1:46, that feels bang on what I should be aiming for. And then a 4:22 for a full marathon, when I did a 4:34, it knows something I didn't. It knows, it knows I was not ready for a marathon. So listen, mate, I know you're targeting sub 4, you're gonna do a 4:22, and I did a 4:34. So that's quite interesting. My summary on this is Runalyze does exactly what it says on the tin. It takes all your running data, churns it, and tells you what you're capable of. And let's be honest, it is aimed at athletes who do a lot of running. So we're talking about the longer distances, and no surprise, that's where the accuracy is. Now for you.
Uh-oh.
For Hannah, there's no full marathon. We're just going to focus on the other 3 distances.
Yeah, you just really like to point that out.
We'll get there. February next year, marathon. Stay tuned when that video series comes out, right? Okay.
Okay, so Garmin on 5K, 2 minutes out. And I think this is actually there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
I mean, given it was very hot, I hadn't really run a proper 5K speed in a long time. So this is probably true. It was just I was very slow in the day.
Yeah.
Right, 10K, also thereabout. I think this is probably accurate in terms of where I am right now.
Yeah.
And half marathon is interesting. This is literally bang on. And I think this is actually bang on in terms of where I am. What's my original PB is 154 something.
Or something. So
this is probably where I am right now. Strava is similar to Garmin on the 5K. So this is again thereabout. Same on the 10K, but I think it's on the half marathon. I don't know what Strava thinks of me, but clearly it does not think I can do anything. 2:14, come on.
That's
slow. Very slow. It's almost like it thinks I'm a fast runner that don't have the endurance.
I think so. And I think what it is Strava doesn't have a lot of reference points at certain distances because you haven't yet done the marathon. All right, cool. So next one is Runna. So we're using Runna for Hannah instead of Runalyze because she doesn't have a Runalyze set up, and she has a current training program on Runna. So it is the most recent view of her running ability.
You know, again, 5K, 1:48 out. Thereabout, same, right? 10K thinks it's slower than I probably am, I think. Then half marathon is actually thereabout. So in that sense, to your point, this is the most accurate data because it's ongoing program.
Yeah. So what's our summary? What's your summary, firstly?
Summary is that don't trust Strava on long distances.
Okay, that's very concise.
Bold statement.
Yeah, very bold. Wow, like, hey, listen, there's a lot of people that love Strava. She doesn't speak for Watch Me Work. These are the opinions of Hannah, not mine. Runalyze, I think, when I look at the trainer data they have, I think Runalyze is really good when you're thinking about your half marathon, full marathon, and distances beyond that. If you're an ultra runner, the amount of data that goes in really makes me believe that Runalyze is spot on. When you're doing the short distances, 5 and 10K, Strava gets it right. The whole question was about, are they accurate or not? Well, it depends on what you mean by accuracy. If you're expecting any of these apps to give you a number, number and you step out and run that number, it's never going to happen. There are too many factors, and the biggest variable is you yourself as a runner, how you feel, how much sleep you had, were you hydrated, etc. What these do is give you a very good ballpark of where your performance is within a certain percentage level, which is why I was quite impressed by Runalyze, because it was within that 10% mark. Either way, I would say to you, don't overthink these numbers, use them as a little bit of a guidance and a trend, and then take your running from there. Do you agree?
I mean, you are the numbers guy, so if you say that these are the numbers, I will agree.
Those are the numbers. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed this very peer-reviewed scientific study. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon so you're notified when I post more videos, and hopefully see you in the next one. Take care.